Imagine this scenario for a second. You're the new CEO of a massive conglomerate, or better yet, a brand new king. The pressure is crushing. Then, in the middle of the night, the creator of the universe shows up and hands you a blank check. He says, "Ask for whatever you want and I'll give it to you." What do you write on that check?
Oh, that's the ultimate genie in a bottle test, isn't it? I think 99% of us, if we're honest, are writing down unlimited cash, immortality, or maybe make my enemies disappear. It's human nature to want security or comfort.
Exactly. And that's what makes the story of Solomon in Second Chronicles so jarring. We're looking at a man who had that exact opportunity. He's just taken over from his father, David, who is a legend, by the way, big shoes to fill, and Solomon goes up to Gibeon to make a sacrifice. And he doesn't just light a candle, he offers 1,000 burnt offerings.
That detail is wild. 1,000? That's not a religious ritual. That's a statement. It's extravagant. It shows this desperate, overwhelming desire to connect with the divine. He's screaming, "I am not ready for this job."
Right. And when God makes the offer, "Ask what you want," Solomon's answer is fascinating. He ignores the bank account. He ignores the life insurance. He asks for wisdom and knowledge. Specifically, he says, "Who can judge this great people of yours?"
I love that phrasing. He's admitting he's out of his depth. It's humility. He realizes that leading people, a people like the dust of the earth, as he puts it, is a burden too heavy for a normal human mind. He's asking for the software to run the hardware of the kingdom.
That's a great analogy. And because he didn't ask for the hardware, the riches, the honor, the death of his enemies, God essentially says, because your heart was in the right place, you get the upgrade and the hardware.
The irony is delicious. He gets the wisdom, but then the text in Chronicles immediately pivots to this explosion of wealth. It says silver became as common in Jerusalem as stones. Think about that economic impact. Silver is basically gravel. He's importing horses from Egypt, chariots from Kuwait. It's the rise of a superpower.
But that brings us to the second layer of this, which I think is even more profound. We have the narrative of what happened in Chronicles, but then we have Psalm 72, which gives us the internal monologue, or at least the ideal, of what that wisdom is supposed to look like.
Psalm 72 is beautiful. It's almost a manifesto for the ideal society. If Chronicles is the how, Psalm 72 is the why. It paints this picture of a king who isn't just rich, he's a force of nature for justice. There's that line, "He will come down like rain on the mown grass."
Like showers that water the earth. It's such a gentle image compared to the chariots and the horses we just talked about.
Precisely. The contrast is stark. In Chronicles, we see him building an army and hoarding gold. In the Psalm, the prayer is that he delivers the needy when he cries and redeems their soul from violence. It reframes the purpose of power. The king isn't there to be served, he's there to protect the people who have no helper.
It really challenges the modern idea of success, doesn't it? We usually measure a nation's success by its GDP, or, in Solomon's case, the amount of gold from Sheba. But the psalm suggests the true metric of the wise king is how the poor are treated.
It does. It says, "The mountains shall bring prosperity," but that prosperity is linked to righteousness. It's a holistic view, where the land, the economy, and the moral fabric are all tied together. If the king is just, the grain flourishes. If the king is corrupt, the land suffers.
There's a tension there, though. In Chronicles, we see Solomon trading horses and chariots, acting like a very typical ancient Near Eastern potentate. But in the psalm, he's praying that all nations shall serve him, not because he conquered them, but because of his glory and justice.
That's the danger of the gift, isn't it? You ask for wisdom and you get it. You get the wealth too. But can you maintain that rain on mown grass gentleness when you have 12,000 horsemen parked in your chariot cities?
That's the million-dollar question, or the million-shekel question.
Right. The text says his name will endure forever like the sun, and it has. But looking at these two texts side by side, you realize that wisdom isn't a one-time deposit. It's a daily struggle. He had the insight to ask for it, but the psalm is a prayer, a continuous plea. God, give the king your justice. It implies he doesn't inherently possess it. He has to keep receiving it.
It's a sobering thought for anyone in leadership. You can have the best start, the best intentions, and even the divine stamp of approval. But power is heavy.
It is, and the gold of Sheba is nice, but in the end, the legacy depends on whether you were the oppressor or the one who broke the oppressor in pieces.
Blessed be his glorious name forever. It's a high bar.
The highest, but that's why we're still reading it 3,000 years later. We're all still looking for that king who rules like rain on the grass.
A powerful place to leave it. Wisdom is the beginning. but justice is the endurance. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Catch you next time. God bless.